Okay, so Sakura versus Madara Uchiha. Now that might sound funny to you guys, but there's some kinda or some level of credence to this matchup, right? Now this matchup was created by Swakage of all people. And Swakage of course is a great YouTuber and I watch him all the time, and before I even created this channel I used to watch his channel religiously, right? Even Naruto Explained and Set the Programmer, right? So when I saw this, I was like, is this a miss? But I said, you know what, I'm gonna take a look into this, I'm gonna do some research, and I've come up with something that I think you guys might want to hear. So let's stop wasting time and let's get on with the video. Now, the first thing I want to say is that I, for one, will shit on Naruto characters without care, right? I don't care. I'll even shit on Naruto when the need arises, right? And Sakura, for example, I've been shitting on Sakura for years, right? I shit on Sakura whenever I want to, right? Whenever I feel like it. But it's never in a way that says her character is weak or she's weak or she's useless. Yes, we can make the useless joke, but most of the time it's just a joke. But a lot of people take it seriously, but it's just a joke, guys. Calm down, right? No one actually thinks she's completely useless. It's actually a meme and it's not to be taken seriously. Now, secondly, what I want to say is that when I criticize Sakura's character, it's mostly on her personality and her actions throughout the series, right? So when it comes to her abilities as a ninja, I think most people can accept that she is a formidable fighter, or one of the most formidable fighters in the Naruto universe, right? Now, the first thing I want to say is that Sakura bodies Itachi easily, right? I know a lot of people are gonna come on, they're gonna give me flack for saying this, or just the ones that actually sees the video, of course. But yeah, I truly believe that Sakura bodies any version of Itachi, literally any version. Now, the topic of this video is actually Sakura versus Madara, so I just want to stick to that, right? Now, one thing I want to say is that when it comes to Madara and his genjutsu abilities, we don't really see Madara too. He doesn't rely on genjutsu as per someone like Itachi, and one of the main reasons why Itachi would definitely lose to Sakura is because he relies on genjutsu, and Sakura is basically immune to all forms of genjutsu, or at least most forms of genjutsu, right? So if you're gonna come into a battle and your main power in your arsenal is genjutsu, and you're gonna fight someone who has the ability to counter genjutsu, then I think you already lost that battle, right? A lot of people will say that, okay, he has Susanoo. I'm sure Sakura can crack Itachi's baby third stage Susanoo if Tsunade was able to crack Madara's mastered or perfect, semi-perfect Susanoo, right? Madara's Susanoo is obviously stronger than Itachi's. I think Itachi's Susanoo is the weakest Susanoo in the entire universe. So trust me, I think Sakura can easily crack that Susanoo, right? Especially adult Sakura. If you're going to talk about teen Sakura, maybe there's an argument to be made. Maybe she's not as powerful as Tsunade, but we're going to talk about adult Sakura. I think she can crack Itachi's shield with ease, to be honest. And if you're going to talk about a fair matchup, I think you're going to compare an adult to an adult, right? And not a kid to an adult. Itachi is an adult, so it's only fair to use adult Sakura in that case. Now, when it comes to Madara, I think we have to limit it to the forms of Madara, right? If you're going to talk about Jubidara, that's completely out of it. Sakura is not touching Jubidara as seen in the war. Also, that was teen Sakura, so I guess there's an argument to be made, the same argument I made before with Itachi. So let's kind of break it down a bit, right? So the first thing I want to address is I saw Swakage make this argument, or he was kind of wanking her to a high extreme because she was able to punch Kaguya. Now, first of all, I was corrected by someone in the comments. First, I thought that Kaguya was severely weakened and she lost chakra, and she was weakened, right? but she also gained this exponential amount of chakra, and it was also stated by Black Zetsu that she actually gained a lot of speed and, a power in general, right? So that version of Kaguya that got punched by Sakura was very OP, like enhanced, even more powerful than she was when she first got introduced into the series. So that begs the question, why was Sakura able to punch her and affect her? Now, I think we can only chalk it up to two things, right? It's one of the two. Now, one, it could be that she was distracted and she let her guard down, and she was just focusing on getting away from Naruto and Sasuke, and that's what gave Sakura the jump on her. Or it could be a case that the writing was just terrible, and I tend to go with the latter, right? Now, we all love the Naruto series, and we all understand, the secrets and the lore behind it, and all the powers of these characters and how they scale to other characters, right? So when you see Sakura punching Kaguya and it's affecting her to that degree that she literally bleeds through her nose, right? You see Sakura, and this is a weakened version of Sakura, right? She's been battered, bruised. She doesn't even have any chakra left, right? She used all of that chakra to bring Sasuke back to the battlefield, and she was able to punch Kaguya so hard that she was bleeding through her nose. And this, as I said earlier, this version of Kaguya was super amped by all the chakra she just absorbed from the divine tree, or the civilians or the shinobis that were under the genjutsu of the infinite Tsukunomi. So this version of Sakura, this weakened version of Sakura, was able to make a powerful or stronger version of Kaguya bleed. And we have to come to a conclusion, or come to the understanding, that it just doesn't make sense and it should not have happened. But what we have to understand is that Naruto is not perfect, right? And if you go back to the Naruto series, we can pinpoint a lot of mistakes that Kishimoto made in the series. One, for example, is Madara using the abilities of the Rinnegan without the actual Rennegans. It literally makes no sense. So I think later on in the war arc, I think Kishimoto kind of lost it a bit, but it's still a good series, and a lot of things made sense and a lot of things didn't make sense. So I think we can't really scale Sakura to Madara based off that feat, because that feat itself doesn't make sense, right? I think you can just say, okay, well, he just did that so we can get like a three-way deadlock with Naruto coming in from that side, Sasuke coming in from that side, Kakashi below them, and we have Sakura on top, right? That's just for the theatrics of it. It wasn't made to make sense in that logical sense as it relates to power scaling and what these characters are capable of. So I think that's the most logical explanation of this. Now, if we want to scale Sakura, this version of Sakura that punched Kaguya, we have to talk about this same version of Sakura, which had more power, had more chakra, had more stamina, because she didn't use it to try and rescue Sasuke, because this was before Kaguya came onto the battlefield, right? So this version of Sakura actually ran up to Madara and punched his Limbo clone, and it didn't even budge, and she didn't even graze him, right? He didn't even feel anything. Nothing at all. So you're telling me, like, this version of Madara, right, less powerful than Kaguya, we can make the argument that Madara is more skilled and he can fight better, and he would have been a more formidable challenge for Naruto and Sasuke. But we're going to talk about power, right, strength, durability. Kaguya should be above Madara in all of those aspects, because she has more chakra, she has the chakra from the infinite Tsukunomi, and she had all the abilities, all the hacks abilities Madara had, plus the hacks abilities that are native to her alone. So this version of Kaguya should be more powerful than that version of Madara. But again, Sakura was not able to make that version of Madara budge, and this was a more powerful version of Sakura, but a less powerful version of Sakura was able to punch a more powerful version of Madara. It just logically, it doesn't make sense, and we just have to come to that conclusion. Now, where I think we can have a conversation about Sakura beating Madara is maybe EMS Madara. right? EMS Madara is for the taking. To be honest, in my honest opinion, I sincerely think that she can beat EMS Madara. I'm talking about adult Sakura, not teenage Sakura, right? Because when we're talking about adult Sakura, I read the Sasuke Retsuden, I think that's what it's called. I read a couple chapters. I didn't really finish it because I didn't want to go through it. So what I did was I watched one of Naruto explained videos, and he kind of went through the chapters, and he went through the fight that Sakura had with the guy who had the chakra of the 9 tails, right? And she was healing very fast. She was able to tank a tail beast bomb point blank. I mean, it only affected or gazed half of her body as stated in the novel, but you know, she still tanked it, you know, point blank. She had a 9 tails tail right through her body, and she was fighting with it there. She's very strategic. She has this enhanced sensory ability that she's able to sense things by dispersing her chakra all around. So it's similar to how Naruto is able to sense the location of others, but she does it in a different way, where she actually disperses her chakra around and kind of feels, you know, the motion or the movements, you know, of these chakra signatures in a way. That's based on what I understand with her sensory abilities. So I think adult Sakura is pretty OP, and I think she should be able to take care of EMS Madara. Now she might put up a fight against Renegon Hashirama Cell enhanced Madara, but I want you guys to understand that this Madara is severely OP, right? This Madara is severely OP, and I'm not talking about the Edo Tensei one that just kept resurrecting. Like, I hate seeing people compare that version of Madara to anybody else, because that version of Madara had unlimited stamina, unlimited chakra. He basically killed himself multiple times to take out the battlefield. So we can't compare that guy that can't die, has unlimited chakra and unlimited stamina, to regular human beings, right? That's like a cheat code, right? So we have to compare like maybe an alive version of Madara. And if you're gonna compare Madara before the war, like the one that fought Hashirama, to Sakura, I think Sakura bodies any version of Madara before he got Hashirama cells, right? Now, after he got Hashirama cells and we saw him get revived during the war, and we saw this face of Hashirama on his chest plate with the Sage mode and all of that stuff, and he had the Renegon abilities, like that version of Madara is washing any version of Sakura, right? And if we go anywhere above that version, double Renegon Madara, Jubidara, or Rena Sharingan Madara, like he washes any version of Sakura, right? But if we're talking about any one of them before he got Hashirama cells, then yeah, I think Sakura takes the cake. So it could be said that yeah, Sakura can beat Madara, but it depends on which version of Madara you're talking about, right? And I think Swakage, maybe he's talking about this version of Madara, like EMS, I'm not sure. I sent a tweet out. He hasn't responded as yet, of course. But yeah, I just wanted to get my thoughts out on that, you know. But yeah, for me, I think Sakura, and I had this on my mind even before this kind of you know, went trending on Twitter, and you know, people started talking about it and started going after Swakage. You know, I was thinking about it, and you know, I even sent it somewhere. I'm not sure. I think I tweeted it on Twitter. It wasn't in relation to Madara, though I wouldn't go that far, but Itachi. I think Sakura washes any version, literally any version, alive, healthy, non-healthy, like any version of Itachi, Sakura washes them, right? So yeah, and I think I'm going to make a separate video on this, because I'm kind of, you know, mixing it up a bit. But I think what people kind of, you know, relate, kind of, when they think about Itachi versus anybody, they go for the Tutsuka blade, right? Or Tatsuka blade, whatever it's called, that sealing sword thing. Okay, he's just going to one-shot this person, he's just going to one-shot this person, one-shot that person. And I see a lot of people attacking that point and saying that, oh, it's really slow, so it's not gonna catch. The Tatsuka blade is actually super fast, right? If you're gonna do it based off of the fight with Sasuke versus Itachi, and then Orochimaru emerged, like that blade went through Orochimaru very fast, right? So, and we could make the argument that Orochimaru wasn't even trying to dodge it because he didn't know it was a Tatsuka blade, but Nonetheless, it was very fast, but based on what we know in Sasuke Retsuden, Sakura is very fast, right? Based on her fight with the Nine-Tails chakra guy. So, I don't know. I don't think the Totsuka blade is touching Sakura, right? And if he even, damages her in any meaningful way, she has this superb healing ability, right? This girl was fighting with her organs basically hanging out. Well, not hanging out, but I mean, if you look closely or you twist your head correctly in the right direction, I'm sure you could see her intestine somewhere based on where she got the stab, right? So I think Sakura takes the cake with Itachi in any version of Itachi, and but it depends on the version of Madara she's fighting. I think that's where we have the problem. But yeah, I think I'm dragging on right now. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section. Did I make good points in this video? Yeah, tell me what you think. Who would win in the fight? Do you think she will beat Itachi? Do you think she can beat Madara? Which versions of Itachi and Madara do you think she can beat? And yeah, I'll reply to you guys and we'll have a discussion about it. And if you did like the video, go ahead and drop a like, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe as well. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.